What's up guys, Travis here from Outdoors with Travis, and today we got a crossbow review, something new to the channel, the Ravin R26X from Magnum Archery. The Ravin R26X has a total length of 26 inches with a weight of 6.5 pounds. With the Ravin crossbow bolts, you're getting about 400 feet per second and 142 foot-pounds of kinetic energy. Your limbs, you have a quad limb composite with an aluminum CNC riser. The R26X comes with a fully integrated silent cocking system, making it quiet on every draw. Apart from all the extras that comes with it that I really like, the cocking assist device, the 3 bolts and the quiver that all attaches to the crossbow itself, I really must say I love the scope the most. It's an illuminated reticle. It goes up to 100 yards with 10-yard intervals, and it really is just a crystal clear image. Also, something completely different from a rifle scope, obviously this is a crossbow scope, is that you can dope in according to the speed of your bolt. So it goes from 300 feet per second to 450 feet per second. Comes with a fantastic backpack-like carry bag. You can put a lot of stuff in it, from your arrows, bolts, quivers, right down to the crossbow itself. It locks up in the front, and this is fantastic for guys that want to walk to the hide, or they're going in the bucky. In South Africa there's a lot of bucky driving to a position where you're going to hunt for the day, and this is a great way to look after, protect it and not damage it while in transport or in transition from one point to another. And must say, it's just really cozy. Before we even get into reviewing this and pushing this bad boy to his limits, we have to go through how to actually operate this crossbow. You cannot just pick it up off the shelf and suddenly know how to work it, and so let's go through the step-by-step way of how to shoot the Ravin R26X. Step 1, you want to retrieve your cocking assist device, and so you just decompress this button over here. I have one finger below, and you pull it out. Step 2, either a soft surface or your foot make great places to rest the crossbow for the rest of the loading procedure. So I'm going to just rest it on the floor here. I believe they call this the trigger shuttle, and this is the trigger shuttle release. So I'm going to decompress this and it loosens this, and I actually like to, because it feels all cool and that, shoot it down. With that firm throw of the trigger shuttle, it should connect onto the string, but for just to make sure and safe, I want to give a nice firm push to make sure it is locked onto the string. Then I can take my cocking assist device, latch it onto the cocking system in the rear of the stock of the Ravin, and I'm going to turn it in a clockwise direction, and you'll see it's picking up the slack that's attached to the trigger shuttle. And as it's picked up the slack, now you'll see it starts pulling that string back. Like I said, the R26 has a silent cocking system, making it perfect when you're getting close to your prey and you don't want to give your position away. Now I want to just show you on the camera. Once it's reached the rear, you'll see that your cocking assist device will start slipping. So it turns, but the cocking system does not. Then you know you have reached the full draw of the crossbow. Now I can just remove the cocking assist device, and I'd be ready to slide that arrow in and shoot at whatever I'm aiming at. But before we do that, I want to show you guys how to decock this. So let's say you've loaded it, you got it all ready, the opportunity passed, you didn't get to get that animal that you wanted, and you want to let this bow down, because you never want to leave a crossbow at full draw for long periods of time. Let's show you how to do that now. Okay, so again, find a nice soft surface or your foot and place it down. Next, and the very first thing you should do, is put in the cocking assist device back onto the crossbow. Now, unlike when we load it, we go in a clockwise direction. We're now going to go in an anti-clockwise direction. But before you do anything, I want you to get a firm grip on this. Don't wear gloves or anything that can slip, because you are going to carry the full weight of this bow while you decock it. So get a firm grip. And I'm actually going to do this. I'm going to pick up the slack this way, and you're going to press the trigger shuttle release device. When I press this, I'm going to pick up the slack. I'm going to press this. Now I am really holding the weight of the crossbow. I don't want it to just go crazy. You can see it wants to go, but I am resisting it. I'm resisting it, and it's going down nice and slow. And as it gets closer to the end, it gets easier and easier. Before I even make my joke, make sure that the trigger shuttle mechanism has some slack in this rope or cord. You don't want it to be pulling tight on the string while it's in a rest position. You want to leave it nice and slack, and now you can release the trigger shuttle button in the rear, and you're ready to take the cocking assist device off, and now the crossbow is in a safe position, ready for the next opportunity where you want to cock it and shoot. Let's get to the point where we put an arrow into this crossbow, how to safely do it. and then how to release the safety, and then ultimately why you're here is to shoot this crossbow. So I have now loaded it to the full draw position. I'm going to place a bolt inside. Let's go for it. It's just, I treat a crossbow as if it's a firearm. It always needs to be pointing in a safe direction, especially when I start putting that bolt in. When there's no bolt in it, it's just going to explode in my face. Once a bolt is in it, it can be a danger to other people around me or in front of it. So pointing it in the direction that I want to shoot, I'm going to place the bolt. All the Ravin bolts come with 2 fletchings of one color and then another fletching of one color. You want to take that odd one out and place it in the downward direction. So the white fletch is the odd one out, 2 orange, 1 white. I'm going to place the white downward and feed it into the crossbow. When the bolt reaches the rear, you cannot simply just put it there and think it's in. You need to push really hard and you must hear an audible click. Then you know the bolt is secure. So why does it have to click? Well, if it doesn't click, the trigger shuttle device actually thinks that the bow is not loaded and it will not fire because it thinks it's going to dry fire. So that click allows that trigger shuttle to know that it is now loaded with a bolt. Also, I want to just make mention that you always load from the top. You never want to be putting your hand in the front of this crossbow, and you never want to be going in between where the cams and the strings are at their full draw. We're going to operate in the front safe part of the crossbow, which is in this dead man zone over here. Right, now this is loaded. It's extremely dangerous, but the safety is on. Let's show you guys what that safety looks like. Now, don't be fooled. As awesome as this looks, it is extremely easy to flip from safe to fire. It does have a little bit of an audio click. You'll hear it. Right, so we are in safe. My finger is off the trigger. I'm going to click it into fire, and now this crossbow is hot. I'm going to just take a nice side picture. I'm at about 25 yards, so I'm going to aim between the 20 and the 30. Safety is off, and I'm going to slowly squeeze. Perfect shot. And now the crossbow is safe. It is no longer at full draw. Trigger shuttle device is now to the rear, and we can now operate this as if it is unloaded, just like you would a firearm that has no ammunition in it. Starting off at 45.5 yards, let's give it a go. Once it's loaded, we're facing that crossbow in a safe direction. Loading from above. Safety off. Something I would recommend, but it's an optional extra, is a little spirit level that goes on the Picatinny rail just under the scope. Really, really important or crucial for those long distance shots, making sure that you're keeping the bow completely level. Just left of the card. Just showing the importance of that spirit level. I wasn't focused on it with my peripheral vision or the less dominant eye, my left eye, and I could have been holding that bow uneven, and that will unfortunately push your shot left or right. So super, super important and proof of concept of that little spirit level on the bow. That silent draw is really incredible, because you're pulling back a very, very dangerous weapon and you can't even hear it. Just right of the card at 80 yards. That was awesome. Ready?
Okay, go.
Very right. Very right. I don't know why. I thought I had the bubble, but maybe as I'm not focusing on the bubble, I'm slowly cantering the bow, which is very possible. I'm trying to line up the reticle with the horizon, but we're on a slope. So with that bolt being so far right, I'm actually going to grab another one because I've been worried about hitting them. And I'm going to not focus or not let my subconscious focus on the horizon, the reticle lining up, because we're on a slope, and focus heavily on this bubble. I was just testing out how I'm going to balance between checking that spirit level and the scope. I feel like I'm comfortable. Let's get this done. Much better. Little high. Must be honest, when you start playing with this, you'll realize it's a really small dot to focus on, and I have a bit of I don't know, a bit of float that I'm struggling with, but it's a me problem, not a crossbow problem. But literally probably nicking the top right of that card at 80 yards, and we've done minimal. We checked the speed, we got 400 feet per second, adjusted the scope to the 400 feet per second adjustment, did a little bit of doping to the right, left, up and down until we got it spot on, and that's it. Nothing complicated. I can't see now. You guys probably saw in the slow motion where that landed, but it felt super crisp. I was watching the spirit level or the bubble level. I was making sure that that was crispy clean on the target, and I pulled through that shot. I think it might just be on. I think the grass is messing with me. I honestly think that's on that card. Right guys, there you have it. What's really nice about a crossbow is it's super friendly to the user. I probably only spent about an hour with this, doing some little adjustments on the scope and that kind of stuff, and at 80 yards we're almost hitting a golf tee. Super accurate. Once again, the only reason I could actually do that is because of the additional purchase of a spirit level that goes in that Picatinny. Otherwise you wouldn't know if the bow is straight or not, and like I did earlier, I lined up with the horizon. We're actually on a downward slope, and therefore I started shooting right. So I must say, kids, women, first time archers, or people that just want to get into archery, or maybe have injuries and can't pull back a compound bow but still want to feel that awesome feeling of releasing an arrow or bolt from a machine towards a target, this is a great option. That's the Ravin R26X. If you enjoy these kind of videos, archery and bow hunting, one of these two options on my left here are going to be awesome, and you should probably boop that subscribe button that's below me here. Are you doing it yet? Are you clicking this one? Are you clicking this one? Have you subscribed? See you guys soon. There.